I'm Tholakele Mrubata and I'm an associate at STBB and I do conveyancing. Today I'm going to talk to you about the FLISP program, Financial Linked Subsidy Program by the Department of Human Settlements. So the Financial Linked Subsidy Program is the program that is administered and governed by the Department of Human Settlements. So it's about enabling sustainable and affordable housing to South Africans and also permanent residents in South Africa for those who earn between 3,500 to 22,000 Rand per month. The main thing about the program is just to subsidize your bond repayment that you have. So they pay a large or a portion of your bond amount. The main points about FLISP is that firstly, you need to earn between that threshold being 3,500 Rand and 22,000 Rand per month. You must have an approval, a bond approval from a recognized financial institution in South Africa. One of the other important requirements about FLISP is that once you receive that subsidy, you can't receive another subsidy for a period of 8 years. And that ties in with the fact that once you have a government subsidy, you can't receive this subsidy as well. One of the other requirements are that you must be a first-time home buyer, and that if you have a family member, for example, that owns a home and you place them as a dependent on the application, that's not possible. So it is strictly for first-time home buyers. So one of the frequently asked questions are which comes first, is it your home loan application or your FLISP application? Ideally, you need to have your home loan approval first before you can apply for FLISP. And as such, you would first have to acquire that. It's advisable to first get that home loan approval and then go ahead with your FLISP application. Secondly, the other question that people ask are the financial institutions or South African banks aware of FLISPs. Most financial institutions or accredited financial institutions in South Africa are well aware of the FLISP program. It's just a matter of getting someone to assist you that knows FLISP quite well to ensure that the financial institution receive that notification and follow up on your behalf. Another question that people ask a lot is that if your spouse previously received housing or previously received a government subsidy, whether they qualify to get FLISP with you, and that directly is no. So it's strictly for first-time home buyers. You and your spouse have to be first-time home buyers together, and only then can you proceed with the FLISP application. And then also people ask what if you earn at least 1,000 Rand more than the threshold, they won't consider your application at all. It strictly has to be up to 22,000 Rand, and that's your gross salary per month. So is there an expectation to repay the amount that you receive from FLISP? And that is no, you don't have to repay it at all. The only condition is that you can't get another government subsidy for an 8-year period, and obviously that's just the restriction that you have. Also, other programs that are available for people who don't qualify for FLISP, for people who earn less than 3,500 per month, can apply for the non-credit linked financial subsidy program. And this program is basically linked to assist those who are purchasing property cash, and the government would then provide you with a cash subsidy to pay towards your purchase price. But the main requirement for this is that you have to be on the government subsidy database for about 10 years before you can qualify for that. And that's the non-credit one, and that's usually for people who earn lesser or can't afford to get bond approval, and this is the provision that the government has provided. Another important thing to note about FLISP in the Western Cape is that you can apply for FLISP 24 months after the property has registered in your name. For other provinces, it has to be simultaneous with the transferring process. So in the Western Cape, they give you that leeway where you have 24 months after registration. The only thing that recently they've mentioned that this will be cut to about 6 months now. So anyone who has an application or would like to apply should apply now before they decrease that time frame. You first start off with obviously acquiring someone who's willing to sell you property, and then you get your bond approval, and then you start the application, your FLISP applications, once you've received your bond approval. And now how STBB comes in either STBB would be your transferring attorneys, right? And with them being your transferring attorneys, they would assist you with your FLISP application at the same time, because most of the documentation that have to be applied or that have to be submitted to the department would come from your conveyancing attorney that would have all of those, being your bond approval, your transferring fees, and so on. FLISP also assists in paying a portion of your transfer fees. So that's where your conveyancers come in. People are able to go and do it on their own, but it's easier to have someone who directly deals with the department, especially when it comes to calling out of payments. The department has to be notified once the matter is lodged, as well as when the matter is registered, in order for payments to be made out to the relevant bank or to the relevant transferring and bond attorneys. So that's where STBB would come in, being that middleman between the department and the person that is receiving the subsidy, almost to make it easier for that person instead of having to go to the department themselves. I know that we have a few contacts there that are able to assist us to make things easier, and that's why it's better to have someone that knows how things run instead of going there yourself, because we are well aware of the documents that you need to provide, as well as any extra documentation that may be needed depending on that kind of transaction that is being dealt with at that time. So for more information regarding FLISP or any assistance regarding FLISP, please contact the contact details below. Remember that it's always best to get someone who is well versed in the whole program. And yeah, thank you.